Hi guys, and welcome back to SofaTalks. We are on season 2 and I am joined by Sylvia Amanquah. Did I get it right?
Yeah,
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
I always get nervous about pronouncing people's names because I don't want to offend them. So Sylvia, so I just wanted to introduce you really and just tell everybody what you're about. So you're a script writer and a director, and you've released your first ever web series called FalseParadise, and that started, I think you released it about a year ago now.
Yeah, so it was July last year, 2019.
July. God, time.
No, sorry.
2019.
2019, yeah.
Do you know why? It's because we
Just
tracked about
started,
2020,
yeah.
don't we?
2020.
Oh no, it was a year of a lot of change. So so you've obviously gone into script writing and directing, and it's just really interesting to talk to you really and trying to get a bit of an insight into your background and how you got into script writing. Okay. So where did you start?
Where did I start? So I went drama school, and so I got a degree in applied drama and education. So I used to do a lot of community theatre and working with young people, inner city kids. I've done a lot of TIE, which is theatre and education. So I used to do a lot of theatre productions, basically, working with young people, and it was all kind of driven about looking at the issues that young people face, social issues, and just doing creative plays. So I've done plays on knife crime, mental health, so things that affected the community.
Yeah.
And so then social media burst onto our scenes, and loads of short films I was seeing, and I've noticed like in the last couple of years our industry has grown immensely, and I just felt inspired to write a script. I wanted to do a short film initially, and that's how it started really.
So when you was young, did you think I'm going to become a script writer, or what was your kind of thought process when you was younger?
When I was younger, I wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
So I went to Anna Shears. I used to go to Anna Shears and that, but it was just so difficult in those. Like I'm a granny. I had to hold back
back in the day.
Back in the day, but back in the day it was really challenging. So, and then when I went drama school and I started doing theatre and education and all of that, I just didn't like. I prefer teaching,
right,
and creating contents. So I pulled away from the acting side, and that's how it all kind of started. And plus, when I used to go for auditions, a lot of like people would say, Sylvia, there's not a lot of black writers. That's why there's no parts for black women out there in the industry, man. You're better off writing and creating content. So that kind of stuck with me still, and that's how it all kind of evolved.
That's really interesting. Yeah. So you saw a niche in the market and decided to go for it.
Yeah, basically.
So it's kind of interesting that you went to Brit School, did you say? Drama school?
Yeah, Central School of Speech and Drama.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So coming from a Ghanaian background, traditionally you would be expected to either do like accountant or doctor, medicine, or get married and have kids, So, how did you get a lot of criticism?
Yeah, my mum especially, because even up to today, this is not a secured, job. Like, they don't
understand it.
This like as play, like
hobby.
It wasn't solid. It wasn't a solid career. It wasn't something that was seen as a career. Basically, it wasn't seen as something that would bring in the income and set you up.
Yeah.
So lucky for me, even though I went drama school and I done all of that, I still done project management courses and got a career in a corporate kind of world kind of thing. So I always felt it was important to have a backup.
Yeah. It is important to have something, because your passion is this.
Yes, exactly.
But having a backup is definitely key.
Gotta pay those bills.
Yeah. So being a woman, a black woman, it's been, I would say, it's quite difficult to be a black woman in this industry.
Oh, where do I start?
Yeah. I would love to know what your experiences are like and, you know, the challenges that you've been faced with.
It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages.
Okay. What's the advantages?
I think its advantages is when you're a woman, you know, guys will look at you like, okay, we'll help you out, or do you know what I mean?
They'll pity you.
Yeah.
Down to in distress.
Yeah, down to, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
In that sense, it can have its advantages.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage is being taken seriously.
Yeah.
In the industry, I think, you know, because, you know, when you look at the British culture now, do you know what I mean? I feel like maybe in the last 2 years, women have really pushed through, exactly. But it's a male-driven industry. Do you know what I mean? When you look at the players in the industry right now, you've got the Femmies for Intent, you know, but with Essence, he's got the backing of gigs, I guess. So, do you know what I mean? Most of these guys are established because they are friends in the industry, so they support each other. Yeah. So when you've got me saying, "Oh, hi, can you support my thing?" It's like, okay, but it's not. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. I think women have to push through a lot more harder. Do you know what I mean? And especially in the writing and acting industry, for sure.
Do you feel that women are pressured into focusing on more of a family life than their careers?
Do you know what? If you would have asked me this 10 years ago, I would have said yes. But I feel like, and like again, I feel like we're in different times now. Like, women are bossing up right now. Yeah. Women are running things right now, to be honest. Like, if you look at the industry, whether it be hair, whether it be music, whether it be fashion, you know, modelling, I think social media has made it so easy for women to create their own brand and promote themselves. We're not reliant on the BBC no more. We're not reliant on radio stations no more. You know, people are being more creative and taking ownership and pushing out whatever content or whatever creative career that they want. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like we're living in a new age, but I feel like women are really out there.
We are definitely living in a new age. But how difficult do you feel it is to actually do both? Because I feel that I see a lot of people either career focused or family focused.
I think it's hard to do both. Very hard. I think it's difficult, especially if kids are involved, because I feel like young people now, where they're exposed to so much, it's so important as a parent to be on your child. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
You have to have eyes.
You've got to have eyes, you've got to be nurturing, you've got to be educating your kid. You can't leave it to schools, as you can evidently see what's going on out there. So you can't leave it for the system to take care of your kids right now. That is messy. So I feel like it's hard. If you're whether you're modelling, whether you're, you know, it's going to be hard.
And you think about all the time and energy you're putting into your own projects.
Yeah, it takes.
And developing yourself and, you know, trying to push through those thresholds.
And you've got a team. You're not accountable just to one person. It's a major responsibility. So kudos to people that are I'm not saying it can't be done, because of course it can be done, because us women, we're naturally multitaskers.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
we do a lot of things where guys are just like, I'm focusing on one thing.
Yeah, so I just think it depends on the individual, really, and what kind of support network you have. Like if your mum's there supporting you, looking after the child, etc., or the father. So it all depends on the individual.
On the circumstances, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So tell me about FalseParadise, your baby.
Wow. FalseParadise. FalseParadise. FalseParadise was born. I wrote it in 2018.
Okay.
Right, the first season took me almost a year to write, funny enough. And it was born out of just partially I wanted to tell a story, you know, in terms of, because obviously my background is working with young people and kind of exploring social issues, and a lot of young people are shut in from when I grew up in that kind of environment. A lot of young people are shut in, a lot of young people are exposed to street life. Do you get what I'm saying? So I wanted to write something that would show that street life, but show that lifestyle there is
it's not the way forward.
It's not the way forward. Basically, it's not the way forward. You know, it looks all glamorous on the outside, but the consequences is far more deeper. You know, and that's where it came from.
I think you touched on some really good points, some really good topics in FalseParadise. If you haven't seen season 1 already, then please do. It's on LinkUpTV on YouTube, and season 2 will be coming out shortly. So I want to kind of understand your thought process, because obviously you're inspired by what you've experienced, the things that you've seen growing up.
That's right.
So how did you actually compile and put this together? What made you say, okay, I want to do a web series?
Right, so initially it started off as a short film, but I kept going, kept writing, and the story just got more interesting as I read along. So I said, wow, this can't be a short film, because a short film's got to be 15 minutes. So then I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this into a web series. And that's how it was born, really. And another thing is, my brother's in FalseParadise, and he's an actor. So I just thought, you know, instead of us being participants, we're all waiting for someone to knock on our door and give us an opportunity. You know, I will create a script, and you will be one of the lead actors, so that he can showcase his talent at the same time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
that
that's
is
how
amazing.
it was born. Yeah.
Because you know, I also want to touch on the fact that this has all been your kind of baby. Everything has been from you. I know you and Rash kind of wrote it together.
Yeah.
You've directed it.
Yeah.
You've funded it. So you know, what was that? How, if for anybody that was watching this, how could you advise anybody that was trying to start a web series? What was the steps that you needed to take in order to get to where you are now?
Okay, so for me, I think the only advantage that I had was that I came from a creative background anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I had my company set up, which was Hard Knock Production. Check it out, guys, where we used to do productions and that. So for me, I kind of had a network of people around me. But again, writing a web series is a completely new area for me, because I'm not into films and all of that. So this was a new kind of area for me to tackle. And, you know, I think we got to start off with a script. You know, what I've learned along the way is, you know, all I was told was, Sylvia, you need a good script, you need good sound, you know, and you need good actors, you know, to tell your story. If you ain't got good sound, lighting, good content, and actors, forget it. Do you know what I mean? So I think the first step is obviously to write your script. You know, and think about what you're writing. What is the content of your script? What audience?
What message are you trying to
what message are you trying to put out there? Number one, who's your audience? Who's your audience market? Who are you trying to hit? You know, and and then to try and get a good production team.
So how did you? So you had Hard Knock Productions already.
Yeah.
So they were in place before FalseParadise.
Definitely.
How did you?
So when I left drama school, I set up Hard Knock Production. So when I used to do theatre productions and everything, I used to get funding because it was like a community interest company. So I've done like theatre productions at the Lillian Baileys. We've done WAC Performing Arts. You know, so we used to showcase our productions in and around London. And then I kind of had a little break, and then that's when I decided to go into kind of films.
So, okay, so then is the next step kind of looking at the actors? Was that the next step? Or?
So the next step would be, like, I had a reading. So once I wrote my script, I had a professional reading with my peers, like other writers and people that I know in the industry, and they kind of, like, we read the script, and then they said, oh, so tweak this. Okay, I think you're missing this. So they gave me feedback, basically, on ways of developing my script. So then I went away and developed the script. And after I'd done that, then was auditioned. Now, so then after that, it was like, yes, the script's
ready.
I was so excited. Honestly, the whole process, it's taught me so much, honestly. You know, people will say, Sylvia, how did you do it? Like, and it's not easy, but it's easy. It's easy. It was easy for me because it was enjoyable.
Yeah,
it was an enjoyable.
It's your passion.
Yeah, exactly. So it was an enjoyable process for me. So I done it first and foremost. I thought, right, got the script, I need to find my actors.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I had to find a production team
Mm-hmm.
as well. So, lucky for me, I met Nee, the director in this, and he just loved my vibes. He loved, you know, my team. Like, I invited him down to one of my rehearsals when I did get the actors and that, and he just loved the whole setup. So he agreed to work on my production. So the production team was set, you know, and it was just about sourcing all my actors really, and you know, here we are.
So that's interesting that we talk about sourcing actors, because I actually met Sylvia for the first time at a rehearsal session for FalseParadise. Yeah. And I think so. You had a character called Nia that you was trying to fill the role for, and you were struggling, wasn't you? So
in terms of acting, right, where I teach drama, where I teach actors and everything, I'm very particular. Do you know what I mean? So I had a vision in my head of all the characters. So obviously we had the main cast from season 1, but our production grew because the storyline. Season 2, I developed the script, and it was a different storyline, etc. So it was a bigger cast.
Yeah.
And so your character Nia, like, I must have went through about 5 girls.
Why was that?
Because I had a particular vision in my head who was gonna play Nia, and Nia was playing CJ's girlfriend in one of the lead actors in FalseParadise. So for me, it was about chemistry, and if they had to fit. I wanted my audience to say, yeah, I can believe they're a couple. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, and it was hard to find a character. I almost gave up, literally. Like,
what would you have done if you didn't
I
find me? Or if I didn't come to you?
It would have happened. God would have made it happen.
Yeah.
It would have happened. And true, because we already started rehearsals.
Yeah, you was rehearsing.
So we was already in production.
So
and
when
I still didn't have
came that day, I was just like, oh.
Yeah,
oh,
and I threw you right in the deep end, didn't I?
You did.
You know?
And I've never done any acting, so for me, you know, I've developed quite a good relationship with you, Sylvia, and you've spent a lot of time during those rehearsal spaces really encouraging us, mentoring us, and developing us as actors. So
do you know what impressed me the most with you? Like, Rochelle, when you came, like, first time, like I said, it was in the middle, I threw you right into the deep end, and you owned it.
Myself.
You owned it.
I'll be honest.
You owned
it. We was in a room full of I didn't know anybody in that room.
Yeah, exactly. So it must have been very intimidating.
It was.
And you didn't even know me. Do you know what I mean? I've just said, all right, thanks. Can you just do X, Y, Z? And I saw potential in you straight away. Like, I really feel I know you're gonna be so proud of yourself when you see season 2. No one would ever know that was your first acting.
Sylvia would be behind me going, no, more, do it again, more. And I'm like, okay. Trying to find the energy. Honestly, you're such a great mentor for acting. You really are. And
honestly, like, you will be like, honestly, you'd be so proud of yourself, because no one, even when we was in the editing suite and I'll say, yes, that was no way, first time she's acted, no one would never have known. You've done good. You know?
It's definitely down to you.
It's going to create some opportunities for you, for sure. No, it will. Yeah. I reckon it will.
So, talking about opportunities, what have you got in the pipeline? Have you got anything?
So, during lockdown last year, we had plenty of time on our hands. So, I've written another script. And this script is about relationships, so it's completely different genre to what's coming out now. And I just wanted to focus on relationships, because I feel like relationship, especially within our culture, hasn't been explored. And you know, when you look at life, it's a big thing for us. Relationship, as a woman, you know, as a man, relationships are really good. So yeah, so my next project will be about couples going through issues.
So with COVID, do you anticipate you're going to have any issues or any difficulties in terms of trying to get this?
This is the issue now, you know.
Yeah, because obviously you've got to think about pulling actors together,
and all of that. So to be honest, I haven't crossed that bridge right yet. Like, the script is sitting there right now. My whole priority now is just pushing FalseParadise, marketing, and just getting as much publicity as I can for the show. For the show, But where, you know, I'm just hoping maybe by the latter part of the year, things might look better for us all.
Fingers crossed, because we've had enough of COVID. I've actually had enough.
I know.
It's been a nightmare.
It has been a nightmare.
What did you do for Christmas or New Year's?
I spent it with my family. Really, really intimate. Very, very small. Very different. My mum's in Ghana at the moment, so it was mainly my siblings and my nephews and nieces. Yeah. You know, and it's like you said, like lucky for us, we finished shooting March.
We were very lucky.
Last year, just in time, because that's when the lockdown had started.
Do you remember when we were shooting and you announced that Kobe had passed away?
Yes, I do.
And that really, really helped me. I know this sounds weird, but it really helped me to do my upset scene.
Really?
Because I really got into the sadness of Kobe. I was thinking, oh my God, Kobe died. And it helped me to go into this, okay, I'm sad now.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But it was just crazy, because I remember you was filming your shot, and I was scrolling through my phone and I just saw breaking news, Kobe dies, Kobe's dead, Kobe, and I'm thinking, wait there, Kobe, are we talking about the same Kobe Bryant? No way. And I just blurted it out once it was confirmed. I just couldn't believe it.
It was a really crazy year last year. So much happened, but so much positive
stuff.
So much positive stuff has happened, and
and it's bittersweet, isn't it? Because now we've had to adapt to this new lifestyle, and I just feel like now we've entered 2021, and which has kind of prepared us for what's ahead because of what 2020 was like. It's either sink or swim.
It's survival of the fittest.
It's survival of the fittest.
Especially if you're creative, because creatives, you know, you're not going to get much work at the moment. It's very, very difficult. So if you're a creative, you have to actually push yourself and get yourself out there to do stuff. And, you know, we've got all these government guidelines in place, but you need to push yourself, because if you put yourself on hold now, the year's going to go by and you wouldn't have done anything.
Nothing, exactly. That would be like 2 years wasted. And I just want to bring up the fact that this industry is very expensive. Literally, this is a self-funded project. I didn't get funding to film FalseParadise. It came out of myself and my brother's pocket. Do you know what I mean? And you know, so if you are a creative out there, if you know someone that does filming, if you know someone that does sound, if you know someone that does lighting, do you know what I mean? And if you know actors, sometimes collectively you're better off coming together and working. Do you know what I mean? Because it is an expensive industry. It's not cheap at all. Do you know what I mean? If anyone that wants to start out, if you've got certain creators around you, use them. Come together and put your heads together and do it.
To be smart.
So
how did you get it onto LinkUpTV? Did you have a connection?
I had a connection. So that was pure grace, man. I got a connection on there, and they came, they watched it, they liked it, and they put it out there for me. So
So my key learnings from this time, just having this conversation with you, is, you know, it's important to have good connections within the industry, and to build that, get out and network. It's also important to have a good team. So making sure that you've got your own production team, or you've got a camera crew and stuff like that. And it's also about being self-motivated, because if you wasn't motivated, you wouldn't have got this project out. There's nobody pushing you to do it.
And don't be so hard on yourself on your first project, because there will be mistakes. There will be mistakes. There will definitely be mistakes, you know, but you're just going to learn, and it's going to make you better for the next time.
What was there anything that you learned from season 1 that you took into season 2?
You know, I went into it blind. I didn't really know much about the filming aspects of it all. And there was a mistake when it came to my visuals for FalseParadise 1. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't really know about how important editing is. You know, editing is a major part of any film. If you haven't got a good editor, you know, you could have the best material, but if you haven't got the right editor to put your
it could ruin
the whole project. Exactly. So there was an issue with the visuals. It should have been a 1080, got rendered on 480. So it looked very grainy and that,
Yeah.
but
We don't have that issue for season 2.
but season 2 is, we're on 4K, baby. We
Yeah,
stepped
4K.
it up, 4K. But
we're all glowing on that camera. Glowing.
But yeah, so that was very disappointing for me, you know, because I didn't, in terms of that side of production, I haven't got a clue, and I kind of let someone lead with that, and it weren't delivered to my expectations. But you know, things happen. What can you do? You just got to keep pushing, and you learn from it, and you grow.
Exactly, you learn from it, you grow, and season 2 is going to be a lot
I'm really
better
excited to
quality.
share that with everyone, and I hope you guys like it.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I just want to start by saying thank you for joining us on our first episode for season 2 of SofaTalks. Had a really good chat with you, Sylvia, and we're really excited to see what happens with FalseParadise web series. Do you want to shout out your socials?
Social media is Silky Smooth 17 and FalseParadise web series
On
Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Legacy.